Hello everyone, this is Ekta Takrani. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I am going to start Civics Chapter 3, Electoral Politics. So let us go with the word electoral. The term electoral is taken from the word elections. And it is a common word you might have heard from years you are hearing, right? So we'll go with the elections which you are seeing. But here, now what we are going to do is, in detail we will study about elections. Why we need elections, what are elections, how we are conducting the elections. There are different types of elections. So this is all we are going to see in detail in this chapter. Okay, so first of all, if we see the need, we'll go back. If you recall the previous chapter, what you have studied is the types of democracy, that direct democracy and indirect democracy. Because being a part of such a vast country with almost 135 crore people, it's according to 2018 census, we are almost 135 crore. Is it possible for the government to ask the opinion of each individual? No, it is not. It's almost impossible to do this. So the only option in which people can rule is through their representatives. We cannot rule directly. And when we say democracy, it is government of the people, rule by the people. How people will rule in big number? So for this, the only option is representative form of government. And to choose these representatives, what we need? Elections. So elections are the mechanism through which people can choose their representatives. At regular intervals, we can choose them, and even we have the right to change them if we want to. If we want, we can change our representatives also. So I hope it is clear what the elections are. For choosing the representatives, we need a certain mechanism, and that is what we follow in our country, elections. Okay, it's a democratic way of choosing the representatives. And this is what we are having in our country. In this chapter, we are going to see this, how we are conducting the elections, what is the need and importance of the elections in democracy, how this competition works, and a very important thing we will see, this you have done in the previous chapter also, like comparison between democratic and non-democratic countries. Okay, you have done this in previous chapter. So now what we are going to do is comparison between democratic and non-democratic elections. Because only conducting elections is not enough. Like if we are conducting elections and we can claim, yes, we are democracy. No. What we have to see is whether the elections we are conducting are democratic or not. How you can judge elections are democratic or not. So this is what we are going to see in the coming topics. Okay, if we'll go with your NCERT book, the chapter starts with a short case study. In your book, a case study is given. Just we'll have a short look over that, and then we can come to the topic. So this case study is a newspaper report. It's a newspaper report of the state assembly elections in Haryana. Okay, it is the time, that is in 1987. That time the ruling party was Congress. Congress was already ruling there, and the elections were coming. For that, the opposition leader, the very strong opposition party was there, that is Lok Dal. And the leader of the party was Chaudhary Devilal. So what here is this mentioned, that he was addressing the people. If you remember, you have seen during elections, what we are seeing, lot of noise pollution, right? People are coming and asking to vote for them. They are having several promises they are making. Similarly, this Chaudhary Devilal is doing. Whole day he is addressing the people with so many promises. So this was happening in Haryana. Then the public was not happy with the existing government. So when the election took place, finally what happened? The opposition party, they won the election, that is Lok Dal. They won the election because he promised that if he will become the chief minister, or if his party will win, what he will do, he will waive the loans of the farmers. So farmers were excited that, oh, our loans will be taken back, or we will be free from this trap. So people people were happy with these options, and they thought they have some hope that he will work for us. So they just very excitedly they voted for him, and almost more than half, 76 out of 90 seats, 76 seats were taken by the Lokdal, and they won the elections. After winning the election, within few days, he was announced as the Chief Minister of Haryana. So when he became the Chief Minister, he fulfilled his promise. Fortunately, he fulfilled the promise. It doesn't happen, but he fulfilled the promise. And again, when the election took place, after 4 years, this party ruled. In the next election, again they lost, and again the Congress came as a ruling party. So what you have got from this case study? It's a short, this much only is given. It is, we can say, it is a short, incomplete story. This much is told for you to get familiar with the terms like opposition party, constituencies, winning, losing, promises, and before elections, how they are doing campaigning. So it was a journal review of the particular things, what are happening during the elections. So it was just a case study. I hope it is clear. Now we will come to the topic. Okay, as per your book, we will come to the topic, and the topic is first question. It starts with the brainstorming. You have to answer, why do we need elections? What is the need of electing the people? Is it possible without elections? Is there any substitute that without elections we can choose the people who can rule over us? No. Or the option, if we can go, it's the only option is we can elect the educated people or the experienced one. Is it fair to select these people? No, because we cannot judge who is more experienced, or we cannot assess that whether public is happy with the leader or not. It will be very difficult, next to impossible. We cannot have any other option of choosing the leader without conducting elections. Okay, to understand the need, we have to understand its absence first. Like if I am saying to know the importance of water, just imagine a life without water. We cannot imagine, right? Similarly, we have to imagine a democracy without elections. There will be no democracy. Democracy is government of the people. If we are not taking the views of the people, it will not be a democracy at all. So it makes elections must for a democratic country. So I hope it is clear that why we need elections. Okay, we need elections to choose our representative who can work on our behalf, who can rule on our behalf, and who can guide the government in decision making. So this was why we need elections. Now, the next topic is, only conducting elections will make us democratic? No. Now we'll come to the point, what makes the elections democratic? The elections must be democratic. So now we will compare the democratic and non-democratic election. After knowing these points, you will be able to judge what is democratic and what is non-democratic. To know about this, first we should know the basic points which are must in democratic elections. So please take your pencil and copy, just note down the points, the important points which are required for the elections to be democratic. So you can judge. If these points are missing, you can say elections are not democratic. Okay, so the first point, we will start with the first point is, everyone should have right to vote, right to choose. Right? If I am conducting elections and I am telling that only the man with property will vote. If you remember, in history it is there, Russian Revolution. Only rich people will vote. Is it fair or democratic? No. We are telling half of the people to sit and don't vote. It is not democratic. There is no equality. So everyone should have right to vote, and each vote should have equal value. One vote, one value. That is what we are following under universal adult franchisee. All the adults are having right to vote. So this is the first point which makes elections democratic. And this is not enough. Many more things are there. The next thing is the freedom of choice. We should have a wide choice. Like, I have nominated 5 people in front of you and I am asking you to vote. And I am telling you, you are having freedom of voting. You vote whom you want. But the issue is, you don't like any of them. all 5 you don't like, then what will happen? Means you don't have a fair choice. People are not having the freedom to contest the election. I am telling only this group can come for the election contest. Others will not come. It will not be fair. So we should have a freedom to stand for the elections also. Freedom to contest so that people can have a free choice. Choice should be there from which we can vote. So this is the second point which makes elections democratic, which is must for democratic elections. The third point you have to write is elections must be held at regular intervals. It should happen very often with particular duration. Like once elections are conducted, one leader you have chosen, and now he started misusing the powers, and there is nothing like elections again for years. It will not be fair again. We should have the choice to change them. So it should be regular. After a particular interval, election should be conducted regularly. If you in the previous chapter it was there, like once elections are over and the same party is ruling for decades, so it is not a democratic election. Okay, now the next is the person whom people are choosing should be elected. This also happens in past in different countries. Like we are voting for one person, but he cannot win the election before the approval of the particular leader. So again, it is not democratic. You are choosing one person, then another person will select from the group. It is not fair. Whom the people are choosing, that person should be elected and that person should have the powers. So that is what makes elections democratic. Now, the last point is the elections should be fair and free. Now, how you can say elections must be fair and free? Like it should be free from any kind of pressure. Like the children, if we are kidnapping the children and I am telling you to vote, or people are using money power, or some malpractices like bribing the people and asking them to vote, threatening them. So these are certain things which are happening. So this should be avoided. Then only we can say elections are conducted in a free and fair way. So I hope the points which makes the elections democratic are clear. So this will help you to compare, to tell whether the elections are democratic or non-democratic. So in this video up to here, that is elections, need of elections and democratic elections. Okay, go through it, prepare your notes and study well. In next video, I will tell you about the demerits of the political competition. Thank you.